Chris Pratt, the beloved actor known for starring in blockbuster franchises like Guardians of the Galaxy, Jurassic World, and The Avengers, almost launched his Hollywood career under an entirely different stage name. In a candid revelation during a recent podcast appearance on Happy Sad Confused, aired January 22, Pratt shared the quirky backstory of how he nearly rebranded himself as Christo, before settling on the name that would become synonymous with his rise to A-list stardom. The story traces back to Pratt's early days working as a waiter at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, a casual restaurant chain inspired by the Forrest Gump film. Like many struggling actors before him, Pratt took on service jobs to pay the bills while auditioning and hoping for his big break. During his time there, a small but amusing mishap occurred with his name tag. It originally read Christopher, but due to wear and tear, specifically the PHER letters rubbing off, it was left displaying just Christo. This abbreviated version stuck and coworkers began calling him by that nickname. With the high turnover typical of restaurant work, new employees often assumed Christo was his actual name, further cementing the moniker in his daily life. Pratt recalled how this nickname followed him as he transitioned from waiting tables to pursuing acting full-time. After being discovered and moving to Los Angeles to chase his dreams, he seriously considered adopting Christo as his professional identity. He explained, "Not even rebranded, just branded. I was gonna be Christo." The idea was earnest rather than a gimmick. He genuinely pondered whether going by this shortened, distinctive version might help him stand out in a crowded industry. At the time, it felt like a natural evolution from how people already knew him, and he thought it could serve as a fresh start in Hollywood. Ultimately, however, Pratt opted to stick with Chris, the more conventional shortening of Christopher. This decision placed him in a crowded field of leading men sharing the same first name: Chris Evans, Captain America; Chris Pine, Star Trek, Wonder Woman; and Chris Hemsworth, Thor, among others. The Chris saturation in Hollywood has become a running joke over the years, with media and fans often mixing them up or playfully pitting them against one another. Pratt himself joked about the confusion during press tours, noting that someone once referred to him as Chris Pine. He attributed it to alliteration, rather than genuine mistaken identity, highlighting how common the mix-ups have become. Pratt's journey to fame is a classic Hollywood underdog tale. Born in Virginia, Minnesota, and raised in Washington State, he initially gained recognition for his comedic role as Andy Dwyer on the NBC sitcom Parks and Recreation. That breakout performance showcased his charm, timing, and everyman appeal, paving the way for dramatic shifts into action hero territory. Landing the role of Star-Lord in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy transformed him physically and professionally. He underwent intense training to shed his previously heavier build for a chiseled, leading man physique. Subsequent roles in the Jurassic World reboots solidified his status as a bankable star capable of carrying massive tentpoles. Reflecting on the Christo phase now, it's fascinating to imagine an alternate reality where Hollywood knew him by that name. Would Christo Pratt have carried the same resonance? Might it have differentiated him from the other Chris's, or perhaps branded him too quirkily in an industry that often favors straightforward appeal? Pratt's choice to embrace Chris aligned him with a tradition of approachable, relatable stars while still allowing his talent and charisma to shine through. It also avoided potential complications. Stage names can sometimes confuse audiences or create branding issues, and Chris is simple, memorable, and already familiar from his early work. The anecdote also sheds light on the human side of celebrity. Even someone who has grossed billions at the box office started with mundane jobs, name tag mishaps, and moments of self-doubt about how to present himself. Pratt's willingness to share these stories endears him to fans, contrasting with more guarded Hollywood personas. In interviews, he often emphasizes humility, family, and faith, qualities that have helped him weather controversies, such as past political comments or personal life scrutiny, while maintaining widespread likability. As Pratt continues to evolve, taking on roles in films like The Electric State, The Tomorrow War, and upcoming projects, his name remains firmly Chris Pratt. The near miss with Christo serves as a charming footnote in his biography, a reminder that even the biggest stars make small, whimsical decisions on their path to success. In the end, it's not the name that defines him but the work, the personality, and the journey that got him there.